Welcome to Friday, the end of a short work week, and normally on a Friday, we do the email bag, and we'll see if we can get into it, but just got a call from Constable Donnie Jenkins, who's bringing a guest over.
This is going to be interesting.
Well, so here I am, like every good cop. I stop in at a Tim Hortons once in a while, and it was a number of, there you go, it was a number of hours ago.
Must have been your first time at a Tim Hortons, right?
You know something? It was quite a unique experience for me, actually. In any event, the fact of the matter is I went to the Windmill Road Tim Hortons, and I bumped into this fine gentleman here. We were the only two people there, and I was intrigued by the conversation he was having on his phone. And he's involved in a cross-Canada trek to raise awareness to mental illness and homelessness. And the more we started talking, the more I thought that this gentleman needs to have some things. He's walking along the road at all hours of the day and night, and I say, you need some reflective clothing. And he also needed a new pair of pants, so I took him to the Dartmouth Church of the Nazarene, my good friend Pastor Ralph Yarm, who has a thriving clothing bank.
Yeah.
Pastor Ralph had some very nice, brand new reflective clothing that he passed on to the gentleman. Then off we went to Walmart, where I picked him up a new pair of jeans, and he needed some vitamin pills to help supplement your eating right now.
Yeah.
And then he needed a belt to help keep those jeans up, so we go to my office where I get him one of the belts that I have.
Well, now, Jason, the interesting thing about this is Constable Jenkins does this almost on a daily basis. He just finds people at Tim Hortons and takes them on this exact same tour, buys them pants, does that kind of thing. So
I'm part of a great group. Then we're going to be well dressed.
Jason McComb, you really are doing this. You were walking across the country. Where are you from, first of all?
Just outside London, Ontario, St. Thomas, Ontario. I'm walking from St. John's, Newfoundland, from the Terry Fox Memorial to Victoria, BC, at which time I'll get on a bicycle and ride back to St. John's.
Now, when did you come up with this idea?
I did a walk to Ottawa from St. Thomas to raise awareness for homelessness, but most importantly was for the displaced war vets. I did it on November 12th to remember the war vets. And
now, how far of a walk is that?
The way that I did it, it turned into 900 kilometers.
Okay.
I take back roads and I visit communities and I talk to people. It's about raising awareness. So I'm going to make as many people aware as I can.
You also have a video blog going on as well on YouTube. I've seen a few of them. You're videotaping yourself as you're walking.
I've got, I still got about 12 to upload. I made one today, actually, as I was walking into Dartmouth in relation to meeting Prince Charles here in Halifax.
Oh.
I took a lot of heat for why I detoured to come meet Prince Charles.
So did you meet him?
He's got a Homeless Happens hat.
Wow.
Yeah, I contacted his PR team. They didn't get back to me. And I told everybody, all of my followers, I'm going to meet Prince Charles. I was told, no, you're not. He walked over to me and he shook my hand and he said, Homeless Happens, because I have the tattoos, Homeless Happens. And it just said Homeless Happens all over me. My hands were filthy. My shirt was dirty. He asked me, Homeless Happens? And I said, yes, in the UK too.
Wow, what did he say to that?
He said, so what's this about? And I said, I'm walking across Canada and then I'm going to bicycle back for awareness for homelessness. He told me, you're a blessing. And I said, if you please. I handed him a hat. He took it, and eventually his intelligence guys came over, grabbed it from him for a second, but they put it with the roses and everything else that he was given. Camilla came over, told me she was beautiful, or told me I was beautiful, and I met the lieutenant governor and very briefly the premier and the mayor of Halifax.
All right.
And wow. I mean, this is a detour. I was supposed to just be walking from Antigonish.
You sir have done more than one day than most Nova Scotians do in a lifetime. You've got balls. That's excellent.
That's why I wear the big pants.
Yeah, took a detour and met a prince.
Now, you mentioned homelessness and war veterans. Are you a former war vet?
Not myself, no. My father was a war vet. He's since passed away. But I was in the hospital in July of 2012, and I was writing a book about homelessness. And it was actually called Homeless Happens. And when I got out of the hospital, I went to what I thought was home. I had been moved out. And the landlord, he decided that because he hadn't seen me in so long, he heard I went to the hospital, thought I was dead. And he said he got panicky, didn't know if he was going to get August rent, despite having been paid first and last, and it not being August yet. He moved me out, moved someone in, and I just said, someone's got to stand up for the rights for the less fortunate. Well, I met a fella named John, a war vet. He's homeless in a wheelchair, and he told me what had happened. He got a buyout, the money was all gone, and after he took that buyout, the military wanted nothing to do with him anymore, and he wasn't part of the Remembrance Day anymore. He was one of the forgotten can I be sure to include that in my book? And I said, I'll do something for you. I don't know what it'll be. And then on November 12th of last year, the day following Remembrance Day, we're going to remember the rest of them too. And it's not just going to be on one day for a moment of silence. And I took that walk. When I got there, I said, okay, well, now I can do all of Canada.
Wow.
And now I'm doing that.
So when did you leave Newfoundland?
I left home, St. Thomas, Ontario, April 1st. The mayor and chief of police escorted me out.
In a nice way.
Yes, finally.
Finally.
I walked just about 324 kilometers to save $50 on the flight to Newfoundland. And I left the Terry Fox Memorial in and around 10 o'clock in the morning on the 16th of last month. Clara Hughes was in town in Gander. And when she put her medal on me, I said, well, now I got to ride a bike. So I had a 9,000-kilometer bike ride to the walk.
That's where you got the bike idea from.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. What's been the toughest part so far? I mean, this is still very early on, but...
Have you ever walked through Newfoundland? Those hills.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful, but
you know what?
to walk, not
when
so much.
When we were flying over, I said, wow, this is beautiful. And I was so angry at the beauty when I was trying to walk through it. There's been a number of times I've gone without food. There's been the one time I slept in an abandoned van on the side of the Trans-Canada because I had nowhere to go. I slept in a shed on the side of a home hardware property to get out of the rain and snow. However, there was no door on it. Had there been a door on it, I wouldn't have gone in it. But there was all compressors and just junk in it, so I slept in that. The wildlife noises at night. That was scary. The RCMP essentially saved my life at Arnold's Cove, Newfoundland, when a snowstorm hit, and it was very, very late at night. And I decided, nobody knows where I am. I've got a brain injury. I have seizures. And if I have a seizure out there during this snowstorm, I was dead. I decided I got to run across the road and get my thumb out. As soon as I got across the road, blue lights were coming. 2 cruisers came, and they got me off the highway. Weather has been difficult.
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of weight. Shelter at times. But, I mean, there's no such thing as coincidence. God put me in that Tim Hortons tonight, and I was talking to my best friend Merv. I don't know why he texted me today to say call me at 4:15 his time, but I picked up the phone, I dialed, he was there, and it was just everything just fell into place.
Wow.
And I'm not going to have this the whole walk. I was saying, I'm sure you overheard it. I feel like I'm getting closer to Ontario.
Yes.
Because I mean I'm doing this because of the way people treat people. I'm sick of watching it. And now that I'm getting into the big cities, Newfoundland and Cape Breton, I got spoiled. They wouldn't take no for an answer. They were pretty much sending me with their fridge on the way for seconds. And now that I'm in the cities, they're looking, and it's a whole lot.
It's a tougher sell.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to find someone to reach out to me, and I won't ask for things for myself. But it's no coincidence that at 4:15 Eastern Standard Time, I was to make a call, and all of a sudden it just took off. I'm being shown around. Hey, listen, I got friends. Why don't we see about a podcast? Well, do you need new jeans? I'm not going to get this the whole way. That's not going to happen.
You don't think so? You don't think Canadians, by and large, will reach out?
Saying Canadians will or Canadians won't is stereotyping, and I'm out trying to say let's not stereotype the homeless. It's I just say it's not going to be in such doses.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing this because of the things I've seen in Ontario, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, and I mean, I've never seen the likes of the way it is out here. The way people treat and take care of each other. I've never seen that. I've never experienced it. It's overwhelming to me.
Jason, I want to know a bit of the background here, because you're very well spoken. You were saying you were writing a book. You also said that there was a brain injury. Homeless happens. Did it happen to you? Is that like what's your story?
We'll leave it at family issues. Okay. In December of 1993, I 6 days before Christmas was asked to leave home. And at 17 years old, in the small town that I was from, there was nowhere to go.
Right.
And a lot of conflicting stories. Welfare wouldn't take me, and I had nowhere to go. It was cold. I would have done anything. I destroyed my name. I destroyed the McComb name for a long time. As I was telling my new friend here, I used to call the police, and I would give a description in a really deep voice of me, so that they would come out looking for the troublemaker. I would be hiding, and as soon as they started coming by, I would throw a beer bottle at the car. They'd pull over. I'd give half-effort run, and they'd grab me. I'd salivate on their shoes, and I got 30 days in jail. The courts got sick of me. I was doing whatever I could, sleeping wherever I could, getting myself thrown in jail. I did my best
Just for a place to stay.
for a place to live. I'm just doing the most absurd things.
You're not alone in that, though.
No, and that's why I'm doing this. So others don't have to. It's ridiculous. People think that they call it the Crowbar Motel because there's bars on the windows. No, it's the motel part. It's cold outside. We need a place. We need a meal. I knew I was going to get up. I was going to mop. I was going to eat. I was going to sleep. There was security there. The social skills weren't there, and that's what we're still lacking today. We need to reintegrate people. You hear all the time, they want to be homeless. If you think someone wants to be homeless, it's because something is broken upstairs, and they've conditioned. It's a matter of conditioning. It's the now what? Okay, now I got to survive. So you find that first survival day, the second, and you become accustomed. Just like when you get out of the womb, you become accustomed to the hospital, you become accustomed to home. And it's the same thing with the streets. It is a foreign thing to get inside the home and have those walls confining you. Many times I've ended up homeless over the last 20 years. And then when I got back into a house, I'd sit down on the sofa or the couch, and I would, now what?
What do I do
And
now?
I walked around the apartment, and I would sleep a little while during the day and walk the streets all night, go back, sleep during the day. And I was alcoholic when I was probably 7 years old. I was drinking no-name brand mouthwash. I found out that if I drink vanilla extract, I could get drunk.
And of course, that's the type of thing that you learn on the streets by talking to other people who are doing the same
You know
thing.
what? Yeah. And I explain it about the alcoholism and the drug addiction. Nobody wanted to get addicted when they felt that feeling the first time. It grips you. I explain it like this. The first time someone gets a headache and they're given a Tylenol, that took the headache away. Imagine that pain being emotional or situational, and you got drunk or you got high or whatever it was, and it took that pain away. Well, did you get that headache again? Did you take that Tylenol again? Did you go through something emotional again? Are you in a situation again? Tylenol, alcohol, drug, whatever it was, that's what numbed it. The difference between the headache and the addiction is your body's not saying, I need this. Much like the mental health. Mental health runs rampant among the homeless community, including within myself. Brain injury as well as mental health issues. Why do people stop taking their meds? Well, if you've got the flu and you're prescribed penicillin, when the flu goes away, you stop taking the penicillin. Well, these guys, when the meds make us feel better.
You think you're better.
And the disease tells us we're good. And then it's gone. And then we have a relapse. And we're ill again. And we have an episode. We get sick. And it's the same thing with alcoholism, drug addiction, all of that.
So now what's next for you? Your path takes you from Halifax to where?
Lower Sackville.
Welcome to Sack Vegas.
Yeah.
Yes. Every day is now what? I took a lot of heat from my friends. Everybody thought I had this planned. My whole plan was Newfoundland, and then every day is now what? Every day I wake up, I'm homeless, and I got to figure out now what.
Which is exactly the plight of everybody who is homeless.
Yeah. Every day is new
staying
homeless.
Tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. If I had it all planned out where I was all set up the whole way, it would totally defeat everything because I didn't have it planned. I still remember getting the collect call from Florida saying, get out of my house when I got kicked out the first time. I didn't have any of that planned.
Right.
And it's just now what? Every day is a crisis.
Now, you say you're raising awareness. Are you raising funds as well? Do we have some kind of an internet campaign going?
It's not a fundraiser. It would be wrong of me to go through Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, collect all the province's money, take it back to Ontario and take care of the homeless there. No. I love that people do fundraisers and they help people out and stuff. I, however, won't do that.
So what would you like?
It's motivational. I want to, and the stories I've got about how people have been inspired and people have been helped as a result of someone being inspired or motivated by me. That's what I want. In Cape Breton, there is one men's shelter in all of Cape Breton.
Yeah.
And that's in Sydney. What does that do for the guys in Shetty Camp or the guys down in Port Hawkesbury? I want people to take care of each other. I want services made available. Shelters are not the answer. Shelters with resources, perhaps, but saying they're not homeless anymore. There's shelters. They can go to a shelter.
It's a Band-Aid.
You know what it is? It's enabling. It's keeping them warm while they're homeless for a night.
Yeah.
I want to motivate people to take care of each other, stop the discrimination, stop the stereotypes, stop the stigmatization, just love everybody and realize that money, the filthiest thing in the world, has a face on it that's more important than the guy that absolutely needs a roof over his head. He's got a little bit of dirt on his face and an empty stomach. I believe it was the $5 bill I was looking at the other day, the new one. Sir Wilfrid Laurier looks younger than the old bill. They're taking better care of Sir Wilfrid Laurier, he's dead, than they are the people that live among us. I'm just saying, you know what, take care of each other. People help me out with gift cards and such along the way. Such as today, I was provided a pair of pants, vitamins. I'm on a disability pension in Ontario as a result of my brain injury and mental illness. So I still have to pay the rent for my office, for my organization, Homeless Happens Helping Hands, out of that. And then I've got a little bit left over. I've got to pay the insurance on it as well. At the end of the month, I'm good for a little while, but accommodations takes that up. But people have been helping me out that way. I won't ask. I've got hats and shirts. The Homeless Happens shirt and the hat, Walking in the Free World. I'm sure you guys know who Neil Young is. Keep on rocking in the free world. This is Walking in the Free World. That song's amazing about poverty. Yeah. And he's an amazing man. But,
can people follow you on, do you have like a website or a Facebook page where people can follow your journey?
Facebook.com/Homeless Happens. Twitter @HomelessMcJason. When I started the Ottawa Walk in November, I had 172 followers. I checked in the van on the way here. I'm at 1,090 followers. And that's huge to me. That's 1,191 of us out here on this walk. And that's what I need.
Well, I can guarantee after doing this podcast here and putting this word out, you're going to have 1,195 at least.
You know what? You know, that's funny you say that, because a lady handed me $5 yesterday and she said, "I'm sorry, that's all I've got." And I said, "You know what? That's $5 more than I had." And she started crying. And I said, "What's that about?" And she came back with another $5 bill. She said, "Because you weren't greedy." And I said, "We're not all greedy." I said, "But you know what? I appreciate anything I get. I don't ask for it. If I find it, I find it. If I go without, I go without. But you don't realize you just gave me 5 more of what I didn't have."
Yeah, Jason, your attitude is just incredible. Yeah. It really is. What an honorable thing to be doing. We could put a link on our website whenever you post a new video or something like that. Why don't you let us know, and we'll put a link on our website so that people can actually join you in your walk across the country.
I appreciate that.
If we're raising awareness, let's do it.
All 5 of them.
No, I said at least 5. Yeah. Oh, okay. Could be 7. We could push it up to 9. But
don't push it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? 5 more people helping somebody it's more than they're helping now.
Donnie, thank you so much for bringing Jason over.
Thank you.
That's where the thanks is due. Honestly, I'm a tough bastard, so I'm not gonna cry now. But it'll get dark and I'll be walking, and this is when the thoughts go through my head, and I reflect on all these things, and I don't give up. I honestly don't let go of anything. Massive brain damage, horrible short-term memory, but honestly, it's like they hit reset, and I store everything somewhere, and it all comes back. Honestly, I am honored, and I'm blessed by one of the biggest blessings coming from a police officer. And if you would have told me this in 1993, I probably would have done another sentence. I don't know what that would have been for, but